the lead MMA analyst for Showtime Boxing, as well as the man who does the Big Brown Breakdown podcast. Why do you do that, Brandon Schaub? It's very difficult for me to say that over and over again.
I know.
But good to have you here, sir.
Yes,
back
I appreciate you.
Good to have you here, bud.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, first and foremost, what do we make of the 8-ounce gloves that is the news headline du jour of McGregor Mayweather?
Yeah, what's interesting about this is, Mayweather says a lot of stuff, and it's all kind of smoke and mirrors, builds the fight. It's good for, kind of highlighting certain stuff, but most of it can't come to fruition. These 8-ounce gloves, if the commission, I don't know if you guys went over this before, but if the commission agrees upon it, and Mayweather and Conor both agree, they can actually do it. Because before,
they can actually do it?
They can do it. If the commission grants them the access to the 8-ounce gloves, but they both have to agree on it. What's interesting, though, is usually you can't find 8-ounce gloves unless you're under 147 pounds. I think this favors Conor in a drastic way. I tip my hat to Floyd because he's putting all the chips, in Conor's, give him as much kind of favoritism as he can. Because 8-ounce gloves for Conor, I mean, listen, if this fight ends early, it's because Conor lands a huge left hand. Floyd Mayweather's not knocking Conor out. It's just not what he does. Mm-hmm. So with 8-ounce gloves, it gives, the power even more so on Conor's side. So
why, for those who need the help, why would 8-ounce gloves be better than 10-ounce gloves? Wouldn't a heavier glove pack a better wallop that lands, if he lands that left hand, that could end the fight?
That's a fair question, but no. So like in the UFC, we wear 4-ounce gloves. And that's why the margin of error is so small. That's why there's so many more finishes. In boxing, heavyweights wear 10-ounce gloves. So it's not that much of a difference, but that 10 ounces, it's going to give you a little more protection. But the biggest thing is with defense, too. You have more padding to absorb the punches.
Well, which you would definitely need with Floyd Mayweather if you're fighting against him, right? You need more, because that's the way that Floyd makes you fight, right? He's not going to mix it up with you.
Well, he's talking lately in his interviews, and who knows if he's just trying to sell tickets. He's doing a damn good job of it, but he's saying how he's going to come forward and pressure Conor, which, again, I think that favors Conor in this fight.
Brandon Schaub here on the Rich Eisen Show. So we need to sit back and wait for the commission to make their decision. Is this something that really is as major as it sounds?
I mean, it's a big deal. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big deal because, if he wants to give Conor every kind of option to win the fight as possible, he's doing it. He's doing a dang good job of it.
And now the concept that this is a freak show from some people,
my God,
saying that this is a freak show that's being put out there because there really is nobody to challenge McGregor in a way that he needs to be challenged in the octagon anymore. And Floyd is 40 years old, and there's really nobody else that folks are going to put their hard-earned money on to see quite like Floyd.
I lose all energy in my body when they say that. It's ridiculous. A freak show would be Michael Phelps racing a great white shark. That's a freak show. A freak show is selling me on pickup basketball with these old-time vets 3-on-3. Talking about YMCA pickup basketball, that's a freak show. A freak show is not the best mixed martial artist in the world against the best boxer in the world. That's not a freak show. It's very compelling, and that's why it's going to be the biggest pay-per-view of all time.
Well, what makes it compelling to you? Seriously, now if you,
it's always, go ahead.
Conor's roots are from boxing, sure, but he's not able to use the weapons that has made him his name. So
see, that's not true. I beg to differ there. He is able to use those weapons. What makes Conor so special is his awkward style, his movement. He can switch between southpaw, traditional. He has very a movement that no one can really mimic. So when Floyd Mayweather competes against Conor McGregor on August 26th, again, under those lights, that will be the first time he's ever seen that style. If Conor goes out and he's in a regular boxing stance, he's screwed, but he's not going to be. I hear his stance can be even more awkward than we're already picturing inside the octagon. So I think for Floyd, he has to adapt to all these different variations that he's never seen before.
You don't think he's getting that in his sparring sessions?
You can't mimic it. You could bring in Bruce Lee and he could do this. Rest in peace, Bruce Lee. Mm-hmm. However, if he did that, it would not mimic Conor. I'm telling you, man, the first time you see that style is under the lights when it counts. The question is, how long is it going to take Floyd to adapt to that style? He's going to. I'm not saying he's Floyd or Conor's going to go in there and outclass him in boxing. But how long is it going to take Floyd to download that awkward movement before he starts winning rounds? I say between 4 to 5 rounds. Now, in those 4 to 5 rounds, does Conor land some shots? I guarantee guarantee you he does. I guarantee it. And that's why this fight is not a freak show.
Brandon Schaub here in the Rich Eisen Show studio, the Showtime Boxing lead MMA analyst, Big Brown Breakdown podcast.
It's a handful, yeah.
I know, but I'm going to keep on keeping on with that because I am a promotion machine, certainly for my guests when they're kind enough to show up in goat suede, as you have, Brandon Schaub, here on the Rich Eisen Show. Thank you. Back in 60 seconds, we'll take a break. I want to talk about what's going on with Paulie Malignaggi, who I know you know from the Showtime world, and why somebody who's paid to spar is upset to look like somebody who's sparring with somebody, essentially. That's next. Okay, egos. You just heard that. Back in 60 seconds with Brandon Schaub in a second. Brandon Schaub is here on the Rich Eisen Show, Showtime Boxing lead MMA analyst, who says the McGregor-Mayweather fight is not a freak show, and in making a comparison to show what is a freak show, it sounds like you watched the Michael Phelps versus the Great White Shark and were very sorely disappointed.
That was a letdown.
Did you watch that for real?
Yeah, I did. I tuned in. I wanted to see what was going on.
You did not think he really was going to race.
Well, Michael Phelps was dead serious. He's looking at the camera and goes, I've raced a lot of people in my life, never a great white. I'm like, dang, this is going to be sick. So I tuned in. He's in the ocean in South Africa doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
They sold me, man. And there was a computer-generated shark.
Yeah, no.
So I thought, how can you train the shark not to just turn and eat Michael Phelps, the greatest of all time?
Yes, that's some very valuable chum that would be in the lane next to him.
But tip of the hat to Discovery Channel. You got me.
No, and you sound pissed.
I'll learn from this.
You sound pissed.
Michael Phelps, do better.
So Paulie Malignaggi was on the show the day after he sparred with Conor McGregor and talked like a guy who was talking up the guy who he's sparring with.
Kind of.
Well, he was. He was saying, hey, look, I went 12 rounds with him. I'm not going to really tell you. I used all the language that I think Floyd's going to talk and try to get under his skin, and his stamina's up. And then pictures come out the next day where Paulie's on the canvas, and then his face is also all kind of smushed up because Conor's landing one of those left hands.
Yeah.
And he got pissed about those pictures being coming out. And my first thought was like, okay, I know that's a very prideful sport and everyone's got an ego. But when you agree to spar with somebody, don't you agree to kind of be the second fiddle in that regard? Like if Denzel Washington ever asked me to read lines.
I hope that happens.
Okay.
Training day 2.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not like I'm in the same endeavor with Denzel Washington. Although, if you did see my couple of episodes on The Odd Couple with Matthew Perry, Brockman, come on now, right?
I've seen him.
My CSI Miami, where I played myself twice.
And announcer. Well,
no, I didn't play myself. I just played announcer. Yeah, that's
yeah.
why I'm getting my 8-cent checks.
Right.
Announcer.
But you see what I'm saying? That if they showed a scene where Denzel crushed me, I would, I'd understand it.
You wouldn't go on a PR tour complaining about it?
I guess that's the best analogy I can make. You tell me.
I hear you. Listen, in baseball, there's kind of unspoken rules. And in fighting, kind of the same thing. You don't really talk about sparring. And Paulie wasn't brought in to make a mockery of or anything like that. And, I just came from Dublin, at all my live comedy shows out there, 6 shows. And, I was with the Mac Life, who follows Conor, does all his stuff, and talking to them, I don't know if this is out there, so there you go, Rich, but those photos weren't supposed to be leaked. It was originally leaked from a second source. And once it came out, Conor seemed like, all right, what can you do? So yeah, listen, I love Paulie. I love Conor, obviously. I'm kind of in the middle on this, but I think with Paulie, he was under the understanding, if you know Paulie at all, he's a great freaking dude. He's the great guy, genuine guy. But he thought, he talked all that trash 6 months ago. I could beat Conor with one hand behind my back. It's an easy fight for anybody. And then, Conor brings him to camp. On the Showtime kind of scrum during the interviews, they go, oh, you can bring Paulie in. He goes, yeah, I am. Why are you bringing him? To beat him up. That's the only reason. Well, Paulie just thought that was hype. He didn't think Conor was being real. They brought Paulie in literally just to try and beat him up, to kind of make a mockery of him and prove a point. Conor's like a baby elephant. He stored that 6 months ago, and now it's here. Those photos got leaked. I think Paulie thought they would spar, then be boys. It didn't happen. So, Paulie's very upset, his ego.
So wouldn't it, though, if I'm reading into it here, just looking at it, because, again, we're waiting for this fight, and we're taking on any sort of morsel of information and probably blowing it up, right?
Yes.
More than it needs to be. But with him upset that he might not look as good because McGregor's laying him out, shouldn't I be viewing that to say that Malignaggi thinks McGregor has no chance to beat Mayweather? Because if McGregor makes him look bad, or he feels that he's being made to look bad by McGregor,
yeah,
then this guy isn't up to snuff to beat Mayweather. Isn't that a logical leap to make here?
No, I don't think it's that. I think, and again, if you ever have a fighter in here, or if you've had an NFL player in there and he talks about how good he is in practice, probably not a very good fighter. No one really talks about that stuff. I've been in there with some big name guys, and I've been knocked down, they've been knocked down. It never gets leaked. You don't talk about it.
Well, what if it did? Would you get pissed?
Again, Connor's team's not pushing this, are they? Once it was out, and then remember, Paulie came out and goes, he went on kind of PR tour, and I love Paulie, and I get it, and his name's never been bigger, and what he wants to do after this, who knows? And he's going to have great insight on Showtime, but Paulie goes, remember, and this is all kind of guy code, when Paulie goes, he doesn't have knockout power. I've been hit by him, been hit by a lot harder guys, and then you have to fly back Monday and spar with that guy. Everyone sees that. Any news clip gets picked up. So, of course, Connor's team sees that, goes, dude, what are you doing, man? Who spars someone, then does these interviews, talks about my punching power. So I think they were there to prove a point.
You don't talk about Fight Club.
First rule of Fight Club.
Right?
First rule of being a man, you don't talk about practice.
Nice.
We're talking practice.
Nice.
Talking practice.
I like it.
Yes.
Brandon Schaub going full Iverson.
We talking about practice.
Right?
Very good. How impressive was the John Jones victory over Cormier, do you think?
Man, ring rust is not a thing, apparently. I thought the first 2 rounds, John, it took a little bit of time to kind of get his bearings and get used to the lights and being back in the action. But then that 3rd round, knocking out DC with a head kick, I always have John as my pound for pound number 1. I always do. And I think John's embracing kind of a little bit of the heel role now. Before he's dressed like a social study teacher talking about Jesus, which I was like, what is this? I want my John Jones, the world champion, a little, I don't want him in that tight bracket. People tell him how to dress. I want my artist a little wild.
Now, if Jones goes against Lesnar, isn't that a freak show too?
Is it? I don't get what's up with these freak shows.
Is it?
No, it's not. It's such a good fight. That's an amazing fight. It's an amazing fight. It's amazing. Rich, come on, man.
I don't know, man.
This is the thing here.
Why?
So Brock Lesnar, right? Former heavyweight champion, phenomenal wrestler, doing his thing in WWE. I feel like WWE lose my number, but he's doing his thing in WWE. Yeah. That's all fake. But then but then he comes.
Right, that's the freak part about it.
With Lesnar, but Lesnar has a real wrestling pedigree. He's a real, actual UFC heavyweight champion. He's beat Shane Carwin, Frank Mir. He's beat a lot of really tough guys.
Okay.
So for John to move from light heavyweight and go fight Brock Lesnar at heavyweight, one of the greatest heavyweights we've ever seen in the shortest amount of time.
All right.
That's a legit, and also fight. And I think John beats him pretty easily, handles him.
So
I've seen John spar heavyweights. I've seen John mop a floor with a guy who does comedy now, who's on Rich Eisen show.
Okay.
Who's a heavyweight, ranked top 10, not a big deal. I've seen him fight heavyweights like myself, Travis Brown, Alistair Overeem, like some big, and 0 problems. So when John goes, I'll go to the heavyweight division, he's going to clear the division out.
But what about somebody who could beat him right here? You know what I'm saying?
Who can beat him?
That's what I'm saying, though. Everybody's moving into different weight classes to try and create something, or different ring sizes to create something.
I know.
Like, wouldn't it be great to have somebody in his weight class try and beat him? Wouldn't it be great to have 2 people in each?
He's beat him already. He's got to beat everyone. Gus Finn, so it's tough to get him to fight. He doesn't really have a following.
Okay.
He's a Swedish kid, or a Switzerland kid.
Okay.
So he's beat everyone. So you go, what's next? Also, this day and age, everyone wants to follow the Conor McGregor model. How am I going to get up there? How am I going to cross over to pop culture and become this mega star where people are demand to see me?
Well, you got to
super fights.
Well, the problem is
the world is super fights.
Isn't it an issue that the ultimate step up for McGregor to reach the fame that he's got in fortune is to remove four sides to the ring?
But to
isn't that a problem,
though?
though?
The best of all time,
at 40.
At 40,
I don't consider this a freak show. I don't. I honestly don't.
Sir.
Oh, no, let's pound that out.
I would have never been back.
I just blew it up. I don't know if you did.
No, I did too,
okay,
kind
good.
of. I didn't know if it was hip.
Well, we have little children.
We have the same
house.
jackets,
It's not,
kind of, like stylish.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine's not made of goat.
We should get a timeshare.
But the bottom line is, I don't feel nice. I don't feel like this is a freak show, and this may be, pie in the sky, because Tiger Woods didn't have somebody, basically. There was Mickelson, but there was a 5-year period where there wasn't really somebody on his level. But that would be like, hey, I've already mastered golf. Let me go take my club and try and do a completely different sport, but using the same
You're wrong, Rich. You're wrong, man. You know I love you, but it's like a guy dominating the backstroke and going, God, I'm good at the backstroke. You're still in the pool, but you're going to do the breaststroke now. Because remember, boxing is a component of mixed martial arts. Hence, mixed martial arts. We box all the time, so it's nothing new. It's not like he's in uncharted territories. He's been in a boxing ring. He's had some boxing matches. You know, he's very familiar with it. And the only reason why I give Conor a chance in this is because of his style that is so unique. Even for MMA guys, they can't figure out. But if Conor had traditional boxing style, this doesn't last one round.
When do you go to Vegas?
I'm there on Tuesday. I'm working all week.
That is a long time in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Dude, right?
Dude, I'm telling you, man.
I am not a fan.
I'm a fan of Las Vegas, Nevada, okay? I am a fan with a capital F-A-N, but I've got to be there 48 hours and out. That's it. That's tough.
I'm one day.
5? Yeah, 36 and out.
36 hours?
And out.
Oh, no. I'm 24 and out.
Yeah, you got a couple of meals.
If you
maybe
do
see
it
a
right,
show.
fellas, we need to do it right. If we do it right, if Conor wins this, we're going Sizzler in Vegas. The three of us.
In.
Sizzler.
In.
Sizzler.
Okay.
Meaning, that's just, I'm not taking the actual Sizzler.
Oh, okay.
Hey, come on. We'll do it like
Brandon,
gentlemen.
Okay.
We'll do it like gentlemen. All right?
Put a tie on, Rich.
At least. We'll get you
Really?
both goat jackets and...
Are you going to go tux? Are you tuxedo for the event?
I got custom suits for this.
Damn.
They don't say F you on it like Conor, but they're nice.
Would you wear something like that? That was an impressive suit.
The people that are making my suits are similar, but no, I'd never get FU on it. Where do you wear that? Can you imagine if I came on here and you just like, well, that shirt's way too intense. Like, what are we going to do with that? Like, I would never wear that.
We met in the middle, and it's a curse word free goat suede situation you got.
Now the goat cussed, but whatever.
And again, I'm stunned that was not off the rack. That McGregor pinstripe suit.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Weird.
That it's custom made.
They're selling hundreds of them now.
What would be if you again just to bring this full circle? If you were playing a sport in uniform and your nickname would be what on the back? What would you put
My
on the
nickname?
back? Yeah, what would you put on the
if
back?
I was like in that 3-on-3 basketball league?
No.
Are you saying if I was
They're putting it in baseball. Major League Baseball. They're putting
Baseball?
all
No.
rise in the back of
No.
Aaron Judge's jersey.
Really?
Coming in a couple weeks. Taking the pinstripes off to do it, too.
Oh, my heart hurts.
That's right. That's when you come out, hey, I love it when the Broncos wear all orange.
Well, no, I said I like when the Padres wear the camo.
Okay. All right.
Big
that
difference,
I understand.
brother. Yeah,
But it's
those
not
are
like
sweet.
it's not like the Padres have been in the same uniform since 1902 when they were the Highlanders.
True. Wow, they're getting rid and
Yes.
they're doing nicknames?
Yes.
I'm out. You know what? That's like making a super fight in baseball. It's a bummer.
That's right. That's a freak show.
But you have to do it, don't you, for ratings?
Brandon Schaub here on the Rich Eisen Show. Lots of fun. Come back. Let's chat
Let's
some more.
do it.
Okay. Brandon Schaub is here. 844-204-RICH, number to dial. We'll take your phone calls, give an update on what's going on in the PGA Championship as well. Mike Pereira, former head of NFL Refs, Hour 3, coming up.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.
If you like that video, be sure to download our app, and I'll be sure to move Week 6 games to Saturday for that wedding you have to go to.